Hi everyone, welcome to low sensory restorative practice with MBS. I'm Audrey, my pronouns are she, her. And today we are going to do a practice as usual with a little bit of centering, pranayama, slow movement, and some guided meditation. So to start with, because we've been talking quite a fair bit just before practice, maybe you want to start with a gentle sway, wherever you are, whether you're seated or lying down, just so that we can just release a little bit of tension and start remembering that we do have a body and not just a mind. Maybe you haven't forgotten, which is great. You could do any movement at this point that would feel good, very simply. Maybe a pressure relief. Just moving a little bit my hips and the root of my spine, just adding a little bit of spaciousness here. Holding the shoulders a few times. Holding the head from side to side. We're not going to be moving for a long time because we're going to start centering. And so any further movement that would bring spaciousness in your body for the next few seconds. And then I'll invite you to find a comfortable shape of your choice. You may be seated or lying down. You can also continue to move. This is absolutely fine. And then when you found a first position, you may close your eyes or find a soft gaze. And starting to arrive here, where your body is. So in this space, supported by your seat, the floor, the bed. And arriving here, as in now, in this present moment, not in the past, not in the future. We're starting to get the mind to focus its awareness on the body, the now, the here. And today we're going to focus our reflection, our practice on Viveka. And Viveka is a yogic teaching that means discernment, or rather discriminative discernment. So in the past few weeks, we've explored avidya, which is ignorance. And Viveka is moving away from avidya, basically. It's one of the things that helps us to go past our perceptions, so what we think we know, so that we can have more nuanced judgments. So what's actually happening, or what is beyond just our own view. Because I don't know if you've noticed, but I and many of the other MBS teachers, we say a lot, notice what's happening with curiosity, see what it is, not building stories or narrative around what is. So that's Viveka, or that's one part of Viveka. Viveka is many, many things, but that's one of the things that we're going to focus on today. This idea of we are not let's say we are not our mind, we are not just our mind, I should say. We are not just our body, we are not many things. And so how do we achieve a state of Viveka? Well, through practice. So that's great because we're all here together to practice. So continue to arrive, to notice with curiosity what's happening, what is your experience now. Reorienting your mind in one direction. And that direction could be your breath, your body sensations, or any other experience that would bring some awareness to the present. Viveka says of Viveka that the idea is to bridge the gap that is between what exists and what is desired. So again, trying to move away from trying to change, to judge, and we're simply aiming to notice what is right now. And again, that is not an easy practice, especially for those of us who live with pain, discomfort, stiffness, fatigue, anxiety, depression. It is really not an easy practice, but it is the path to truth and realization. So focusing your attention, your anchor, whether that's your breath, your sensation, the support. And continuing to notice what is. And then if you like, you can start moving again. We'll create some space for slow movement for a few minutes so that then we can release even more tension, so that then we can go into restorative practice. So you could start by a big stretch. You could shake. Roll your shoulders side, front to back to front. Be one shoulder at a time. Any movement, again, that will feel good. Or bring some support, some comfort, some space. If you're lying down, maybe you can let your legs have a little wriggle from side to side. If that's accessible to you, you could bring them towards your chest and grab your legs and just sway to side or back to front. I'm just swaying side to side. Maybe I just have a side bend as well with the arms or no arms. I think you all know a few moves that you know well and that you know your body will appreciate. And now might still be stillness. You could also visualize those movements. And still keeping that awareness on your breath, on your anchor, whether that's breath, body sensations, the support. Maybe you're putting particular attention to how that movement is making you feel within, whether it's adding some relief or whether it's some more tension and pain. And there I would say, if it does bring more tension and pain, and maybe move away from that movement. Maybe here is not a good place to be with what is. And just notice that practice of yoga is not to add more pain, rather to move away from that suffering. So anyway, I'll leave you for another minute with your own movement. Maybe you could have a big yawn. And then when you're ready, start moving towards stillness or keep moving, whichever is more supportive to you at this present moment. If you're ready to find your first restorative shape, then please do so. You could be in Shavasana, Baddha Konasana, forward fold, Balasana, child's pose. Any shape that you know you can be there for a little while, knowing that you can still change that shape. You can go back to moving. You can go from seating to lying down to, yeah, very much free to do whatever you want. If you'd like to explore Shavasana, you can be lying on your back, on the side, on the belly. Please bring as many props as you wish, bolsters, something to cover yourself, a blanket, pillow, eye mask. If you have some pillows, I would suggest, if you're lying down, to have one to support your head and your neck, and maybe some underneath your arms as well. And then small bolsters underneath your knees. If you are seated, maybe a cushion underneath your feet to provide a bit of relief for your legs, and maybe one to hold or to place on your lap. Please take the time that you need. This is all part of the practice, part of the ritual of rest, finding what you need, taking it, giving yourself permission to take all the support that you need in this moment. You have plenty of time, so find that shape. And when you're there, maybe spend a moment to notice where you are, your environment, any sounds, any smells, anything you may notice. And again, with that sense of Viveka, of curiosity, of seeing what is and what is not. And then let's start to go inwards. So noticing the support of your seat, the bed, the floor, wherever you are. And allowing it to support you. Surrendering to that support. Let it do its job. And then noticing your breath. Noticing maybe the movement it creates in your body as you inhale. Maybe the belly is expanding, the chest is rising. Noticing the air coming in. And as you exhale, noticing the floor of your rib cage and the belly. And maybe as you do so, the body starts to surrender even more to the support of your bed, the floor, the seats. And then noticing any body sensations. What is your experience now in your body? Is there any sensation of heat, tingling? Tension, of anything that's happening? And again, trying to move away from judgment and rather trying to practice that Viveka and seeing what is actually happening without adding any stories or narratives or what is wrong, what is right, what should I do. And we may try to invite that very nature of Viveka, that clear, luminous, tranquil energy. Maybe you Do this with each inhale, inviting that clarity, luminosity, and tranquility. So each of your breath is creating that bridge between what is, what really exists, and what is desired. That we can move from avidya, ignorance, and go towards Viveka with courage, curiosity, to that state of pure consciousness, liberation. So with each inhale, again, invite that energy, that clarity, luminosity, tranquility. And if you like, with each exhale, you could release avidya, ignorance. And so exhale, release, and inhale, invite. Gonna create some space for silence so that you may focus on this practice for just a few minutes. I'm still here. We're all here together in community and we're practicing together. Exhaling, releasing, inhaling, inviting. Good. And now that, if your mind has wandered, that is okay. We are practicing so that we can, train our mind to bridge that, make that bridge, to remain in this condition of clarity. In the Gita, Krishna says, on this path, no effort is wasted, nor is there any danger of adverse effects. Even a little practice of this yoga protects one from great fear. So that's what we're doing. A little practice of this yoga to bring about more courage, curiosity, to see what is, to move away from ego and make space for Viveka, discriminative discernment. Or as one of my teachers says, Jivana Heyman, he defines it as a clarity that lifts us above the clouds of the mind to a place where the sun is always shining. So it might not seem like we're doing much here. Resting, focusing on our breath. But we are moving to a place where the sun is always shining. That seems pretty good to me. So I'll leave you again for a minute or two to practice with your breath, to be with your breath, be with your body, be with what is, and even be with your mind. So we're going to start the process of exiting the practice. So if you'd like to bring your awareness, your attention to your heart center, you may place your hand on top of each other, on top of your heart, or an Anjali Mudra, Surya Namaskar, fingertips and heels of the palms touching, thumbs against the heart as a gesture of gratitude. Gratitude for ourselves, for our body, for our minds, for allowing us to access these practices, to be in community, to explore this life. And I fully acknowledge the effort that I took all of you to be here today. Gratitude for these sacred practices of yoga, indigenous to South Asia, and all our teachers, teachers, and all practitioners before us who have protected these practices so that we can still benefit from them today. Gratitude for the earth, as it keeps on holding us and nurturing us, supporting us, and all the indigenous protector of its land, especially all those who are fighting for access to the sovereign land. Gratitude for this community, as it brings us all together for the wisdom, the support, the laughter. You may wish to dedicate the merit of this practice to a being, a group of being, a cause, a land. And to serve this intention, I'll offer a blessing of metta, loving kindness. You may join or listen. May all beings everywhere, with no limits, including ourselves, be happy, be well, be at ease and at peace. May all beings be safe and free from harm and suffering. May all beings be free and liberated. Please feel free to add any other words that your heart is calling for. And please stay in this space in your practice if you have the time to do so. Otherwise, bringing some gentle movement back into the body, maybe a big stretch or swing again side to side, just moving the fingers and the toes, anything that will bring you back gently, gently. You may open the eyes, welcoming back the light, looking around your space. And then finally coming back to one another. And I'm very grateful to you. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.